What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a good day. So today I thought I'd do a video talking about what your plans should be for when gyms reopen, because in the UK they're opening on Saturday the 25th of July, which is just over a week from now. Buzzing, can't wait, because you are going to want to approach your training a bit differently kind of when you go back to gyms to avoid things like injury. I mean, you don't have to do what I'm saying in this video, but I do think they will help a lot of people, and I think there's some useful tips, because these are all things that I've done when recovering from my shoulder surgery, and I know that they work. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have had a home gym at home and had all the equipment, then you're good. Some of this stuff probably won't apply to you as much, but for people that have just had very limited equipment, light weights, or not really worked out at all, then I've got some really useful tips for you. Just before I get into the video, I'd really appreciate if you like the video, subscribe if you're not already, and yeah, let's get started. So the first point that I want to talk about is not to go to the gym and just go balls to the wall, go all out, like try and lift the weight that you were before lockdown, because that is not a good idea. That's just going to lead to injury most likely, and although you might want to, it's just not a good idea, and your body's not going to be at the place to be able to do that safely. So for the first few weeks I wouldn't recommend going all out training to failure, because your body's not going to be used to that, and that's just going to lead to really bad DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, which is basically just when your muscles really ache like the few days after training. I'm not looking forward to the pain I'm going to be in. It's like going to be me going back to the gym for the first time again. Like, I'm going to be an absolute bitch, especially leg day. My legs always seem to absolutely kill after leg day anyway, so I'm not looking forward to the DOM. And when you've got DOMs, it's really hard to train the next day if you're aching that much, and you're not going to have an effective workout if you've got bad DOMs. And also you're going to be more likely to get injured as well if you're training with really bad DOMs. So with that in mind, I think it's important to factor in a few more rest days, because like I said, your body's just not going to be used to it, so you need to allow more time for your body to kind of recover and heal. And just listen to your body. Like, if it's aching all over after a first week of going to the gym, just take a couple of days off. Like, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to let your body recover, so then when you go back you can have good sessions again. So with regards to training and the exercises, it's been like 4 months now that the gyms have been closed, so for your compound lifts and some other movements you might have to relearn them again. So getting your form down for the squat, bench press, everything, just going through the motions, not going heavy, just really getting your form down and relearning the movement again. Just slowly start to progressively overload and build up, and you will start to get back to where you were previously, and you'll be surprised how quickly you are actually able to get kind of back to where you were before lockdown. And that's because of something called muscle memory, which in simple terms effectively means once you've built muscle, it's a lot easier to build it back if you've lost it. So for example, with my shoulder surgery, I had quite a bit of muscle mass, I lost it all, but it took, and then I built it back in a lot of it back in a few months, whereas for the first time for me building that muscle, it took me like a year. So within a month, like, you will have built a lot of muscle mass back already, so you don't need to worry about training balls to the wall, going back to where you were, because you don't need that kind of intense stimulus in order to elicit the muscles to grow. So due to muscle memory, your muscles are just going to come back a lot quicker just from kind of a normal training stimulus, not pushing yourself to the max straight away, so you don't need to worry about that. Another key point that might sound obvious is just to warm up. Just make sure you get a solid warm up for the muscle groups that you're going to be training in that session, doing dynamic stretches, just getting everything in motion, just because you really don't want to get injured when the gyms are just opening again, and that's just going to help you to not get injured and do everything safely and get your body ready for the exercises. So let's talk about what training split I think you should do. Personally, I'd recommend doing a push-pull leg split, especially for going back into training, because as I was saying earlier, you're probably going to want to have more rest days to let your body recover, and doing a push-pull leg split allows for a minimum of 2 days recovery in between each muscle group. Say if you went to do full body, your body's not going to be used to doing that high frequency compound lifts every single day, so I think push-pull legs would be a great starting point for going back to the gym. So just with regards to rep ranges as well, obviously at home I think most people will have been doing higher rep ranges. I've been doing around the 12 to 15 rep range. So if you're wanting to go back to strength training, like the lower rep ranges between 1 to 6, you don't want to go straight into that doing heavy weight, because again your body's not going to be used to it. So I'd recommend just slowly working your way down those rep ranges. So like maybe start off with 10 1 week and just slowly decrease your rep ranges until your body gets used to lifting heavier weight and doing those lower rep ranges, because if you go straight into those low reps heavier weight, it's just increasing your risk of getting injured, which you don't want. So I'll just quickly touch on diet as well, kind of whether you should cut, bulk, maintain. And that's all going to depend on you and kind of the place that you're at this moment in time. So let's say lockdown, you've not really been training, you've put on more fat than you'd ideally have liked to, but you still want to try and build muscle, so that is effectively a recomp. Then what you could do is go in a small calorie deficit, 200 to 300 calories, and then just make sure you're working out consistently, and that'll enable you to build muscle and lose fat. That's not optimal forever, so you could do that for a couple of months, lose a bit of body fat, get yourself in better shape that you're happy with, and then just start lean bulking, so calorie surplus of 200 to 400 calories, and just start kind of looking to really pile on some muscle. Or if you're not sure kind of where you're at, you could just eat at your maintenance calories, start training consistently, kind of just see what your body does, see how it starts to change, and then from there see if you think you should cut or bulk. Or if you just want to build some muscle straight away, just get back into it, then just cruise straight into a lean bulk and just get going. So yeah, the main thing really is just going to be consistency, making sure you're getting enough protein, because you're going to be building muscle again, so 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, that's the most that you need. Focusing on slowly progressively overloading, and then either cut, bulk, maintain, do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy, and yeah, you'll make good progress. So for me personally, I'm going to be doing push-pull leg split and going into a lean bulk straight away. And just remember as well, it's a long process, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Although muscle memory will help you get there quicker, it's still going to take time to get back to where you were, and then obviously to progress from there. So just enjoy the process, fall back in love with going to the gym, you know, just take it steady. You've got your whole lifetime ahead of you, however long that is for you. Just enjoy it, fall in love with the process, make it a lifestyle. Just 1 more week and then we can start going to the gyms, and let's just start getting in shape. So that's it for the video. I hope you found it useful, and hopefully that can help you when you go back to the gyms, just because I really don't want any of you to get injured, and because that'd be terrible, especially after being out of lockdown for 4 months. And yeah, my next video will hopefully be me working out in a gym, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.